Hello, hello, my fellow Americans. Holy shit. I'm going to wait till the video catches up with me over there so I can see. Hi, Samantha. Hello, darling. Yes, I just had my phone in my hand to text you, and I looked up, and there you were. And Annette, thank you so much for being here. Um, damn. First of all, I absolutely knew this was coming. I knew there was going to be some major shenanigans. Um, and it still doesn't make it easy to watch, and it still doesn't mean it doesn't impact me. You are seeing medicated Luna. I had to take my rescue meds today because, um, well, my son had a doctor's appointment. Yes, virtual hugs to everybody. My son had his first doctor's appointment with our fabulous doctor, and that was at 2 o'clock. So we left here a little after 1, and we got back a little after 3. And as we were heading home at 3:15ish, I was thinking it like whoop hit my radar, and I'm like, what are we gonna find when we get home? What are we gonna find? What's going on? You know. Walked in the door. My husband said nothing. Of course, he said nothing. "Hey, how was your appointment?" Blah blah. I come upstairs. I sit down. I hit Facebook, and it's like, "Oh my God, did you hear what's going on?" He's like, "Yeah." This is a man with Capricorn rising, Mr. Quiet. But several things I would like to say. Um, we knew this was coming, didn't we? We knew this was coming. We knew that a leopard does not change its spots. We knew we were dealing with a dangerous megalomaniac narcissist. I have been saying since he got in, and this, I feel so validated that um, the minute he got elected, I was sobbing my ass off for like 3 days. I couldn't stop crying. This is why. This is why, folks, because we knew what we had let in. So, I'm going to hashtag call me Cassandra because, yeah, we knew. And that that Lenormand reading that I did about the inauguration, and it was um, the garden and Clover. So garden was the inauguration, the gathering of people. Clover said it's going to be fine. The inauguration is going to go out that off fine because that's what I asked specifically about. Will this be a peaceful transfer? Then the bear and the man came up, which is a show of power by the man. And when I asked which man, I got the ship, which means the one that's leaving. So this is the show of power by the man. First of all, the seditious phone call to the Secretary of State of Georgia, and now the direct incitement of an insurrection and an attack on our Capitol building with Congress in session to certify our next president in a legitimate election. And domestic terrorists have stormed the Capitol. But I have to say, listening to Rachel Maddow, hearing everything that was coming out of my mouth when I got home and heard, here's what needs to happen. They are talking about the removal of the president. Nancy Pelosi is saying, telling everyone, stay put. All of Congress and the Senate are there in the Capitol building in lockdown. They are waiting until things are safe and secure. They are going to stay there through the night to certify this election. Then it must fall on Republicans to shut this motherfucker down and get this man out of the White House. I've heard there was a 4-star general on Rachel Maddow saying this isn't about impeachment. Impeachment is kind of a lame tool. I can't remember what word he used, something tool, but an ineffective tool. What we're talking about here is the removal of the president, the removal of this president, and that's absolutely what needs to happen now. Nancy Pelosi has talked to the vice president, she has talked to the Department of Justice, and she has talked to the Pentagon. And she said, after talking to them, we are staying put until we get our constitutional duty accomplished. The thing that has me on fire right now is the fact that it's now an hour past the curfew that the mayor of DC imposed at 6 o'clock. These white folks are still milling around, and the police are kind of pushing the perimeter out. Imagine if those people were black. Just imagine. And why wouldn't they think this is the way it would go? Because they watched it happen in Michigan. They watched white people storm the House or the Capitol building there, and nothing happened to them. One of the protester died, being shot in the neck. But, you storm federal property. What would their side be saying if anybody on the Democratic side stormed the Capitol building? Well, that's what happened. So, let me catch up with comments here. Yes, it's hard to live through. That's for sure. Yep. 25th Amendment, absolutely. So I looked at, I was looking at the current chart. And let me pull it up here. I've got it animated so I can see exactly where we're at right now at 7:06. What we had was a T-square for a while there of Pluto at the apex, Mars at one end, and Moon at the other. Yeah, anybody that knows astrology is laughing their ass off right now. Mars has moved out, and actually, it was the Moon Pluto that are really in aspect and in tight aspect. They are exactly square right now. Mars is at 0 degrees, Pluto is at 24, Moon is at 24. If that were a natal chart, that would be a T-square, but we only give 2 degrees of orb in transit. So, but that Moon-Pluto square. Moon in Libra, talking about nurturing energy. But as far as transits go, the Moon is a trigger. The Moon sweeps through quickly, so it triggers events. But what's being triggered here, the Moon is in Libra. What's Libra but justice, equity, fairness, balance, peace, peace. Squaring Pluto in Capricorn, which talks about despotism and dictatorship and force and dominance. And then you bring Mars swinging in there. And, like I said, Mars is out of aspect. Right now, Mars is squaring Saturn. And that is like the greater malefic and the lesser malefic square each other. Ouchie, mouchie, zigazouchie. So Mars, denoting violence, has just hit 0 degrees of Taurus. Thank God it's out of Aries now. But I mean, it's just 0 degrees and 1 minute of Taurus. It just went into Taurus. So you should see things calming down quickly here. I mean, literally, let me look here. I might have to go back an hour. But I mean, it's at 0 degrees, 1 minute. Where are we at? At 0, 0. Okay. I want to see when Mars shifted sign. And, we started with Mars at a critical degree at 29 Aries. Okay, so at 5:25, we were still Mars in Aries. And then an hour later, it shifted into Taurus. And that's when things kind of came down like this. Very much calmer, very much more, orderly of the police pushing these people out. Why there have been no arrests made when these people are treasonous, when these people have violated the Capitol, when these people are violating curfew and they're not being arrested? What the fuck? But the Moon in Libra squaring Pluto, the Moon in Libra, I think, is the change. It's the process of democracy that's happening here, and the change that's happening because the Moon brings in change. And the Mars Saturn square. Saturn is structure, and the law, and tradition. Tradition. That's what was happening today. History and tradition, historic tradition of certifying the vote. And this Mars comes in to square it with these violent people. Mars is actually applying to square Saturn. So now we're going to see more practical action. Mars in Taurus is more practical action on a material basis. But still, we're we're in square with Saturn, so it's going to be bucking. There's still going to be bucking of tradition, and I mean, it is. We're not getting things done in a traditional way because of this violence. Our tradition has kind of been, and Saturn's in Aquarius, which means all bats are off and nothing's traditional anymore. It's all new. So we see now a whole new process happening to accomplish the tradition of certifying this vote. But holy shit. And when you have Moon Pluto in aspect, Moon and Pluto, keywords for Moon Pluto aspects, manipulate the masses. And that's what our insider in chief did. Okay, who else do I need to say hi to? Hi, Anne. Oh my God. All right. Well, because the protesters now are white. How come they could use all that stuff against the BLM protesters? Because they weren't white. And in these people's minds who never let the Civil War go, this is a white person's country. And okay, now that I have Anne and Annette here, I got a gift deck yesterday with no gift receipts in it from Amazon. There was no paper in it whatsoever. Of course, the usual number one suspect is you, Annette. Spirit Animal, The Spirit Animal Oracle by Colette Baron Reid. I haven't done a review yet. But I just want to know, was that you, Annette? And let's see. Yes, hard to keep. Well, I'll tell you what, I am hopeful. Because now he has made irreversible moves. And something must be done. And there are noises starting to be made by members of Congress and the Senate saying these 12 senators are seditious and they need to come to account, and that, you know, this president needs to be removed. And they're all there. The Congress and the Senate are all there in that Capitol building. And you better believe there's some hot discussions going on. This cannot stand. 2 weeks before an inauguration, this kind of bluster and bullshit can't stand. So I think 25th Amendment is just, we're on the verge there. Go home and curl up with your dog. Yeah, absolutely. And here's the thing. I agree with you, Sherry. Remove him ASAP. And hi, Sherry. Okay, so my favorite people all here. Yay. So what we need to do is get ourselves grounded. We need to take care of ourselves. So let's start with that. I thought, oh, gee, did you? Sherry, darling, I love you. So wonderful. There was no gift. Usually I get 3 little things. I get one with like a QR code, and then I get one if there was a note saying this is from this person. They didn't. Twice now I've gotten things from Amazon where they put no notes in it whatsoever. So thank you, darling. All right, well, you will see a review for that tomorrow or Friday, because usually when I get a gift deck, I review it immediately and get that, you know, it cuts in the line. And I just bought myself a whole bunch of new decks with my relief money too, so, well, it's a relief, you know. Oh, PayPal. You can do PayPal, Annette, or you can do, should be a link down there for, through Streamlabs. You can do a donation through Streamlabs as well, and both of those links should be down below. I know PayPal sucks, but I've had an account for a couple of decades so far, which is hard to believe. And it works, you know. Okay, so let's take a moment here. Let's take a moment and let me get a match. And let's start off with some sage. Because this is terrifying and traumatic and very, very difficult. And, you know, no matter how you approach, you're going to get caught in oops, 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 oh shit, oops, shit, shit, fuck, shit, 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 shit. Shit, shit, Jesus, how long does this burn? Okay. Well. I just got a question answered. And that question is, if I'm using these matchsticks to light things and one of that long hot end falls off, how long will it burn? Too long is the answer to that. I finally got it out and I was keeping it moving so it didn't burn my carpet, but I burnt my cloth, and this cloth is going to be going anyway. All right, so let me move myself out of the way a little bit. If you have sage, please light it up. As soon as we got home and I heard the news and everything and I got that, panic attack, I came up and did a smoke cleanse. So, sage or whatever smell feels like ritual to you. Whatever smell means ritual. And you know what? I have to go wash my hands, you guys. So, can you talk amongst yourselves for just like a hot second? I'll be right back. Okay, thank you. I was just feeling icky sticky. Hi, Rose. Welcome, honey. I'm so glad you're be here. Yeah, what a time to be alive. Unreal. Unreal. All right, are they too loud? Are the waves too loud? I know I was going to put drumming on. It's like, no, we need waves. So, burn some sage. Make something smell good. I'm going to burn a little sandalwood here. And I want to show you what I have sitting here. This is from Red Rose Tea. A little ceramic replica of the White House. It used to be in this box. Now it's out of this box. But what is in this box is the signature of Donald John Trump that was on a letter after we got our first, I think it was after we got our first relief money. I opened it just to fix it a little bit, but I'm not going to open it just yet because this is a mirror box. And his signature is in here so that all of the harm, whatever he puts out, comes directly back to him. And this has been in, the signature went in, I know it was more than, it wasn't just this last spring, because this signature's been in here since, I think I might have written his name, or somewhere I got a copy of his signature, I might have printed it out or something, since he got elected. I put him in a mirror box like right away, and he's been in there ever since. Like I said, first couple years, the White House was in there too, bound with a cord to contain damage. Then the White House came out because it's like that institution and the institution of the presidency needs to be protected. He's the one that needs bound down. So this is, thank you, love. Thank you so much. So this is what I've done, is just bind him down in a mirror box. And the thing is, when you're doing spell work, are they, okay. All right, is that better? I took them down a lot. When you're doing spell work, it's kind of like a lawsuit, you know? You have to have standing. I can't sue some random person for doing something that has no effect on me. I don't have standing. Likewise, when I can't remember who the fuck it was, we're trying to sue, one state trying to sue other states about how they handle their electoral process, and the courts found they didn't have standing. You have no business about how those states do. It doesn't affect you. You have no business. You have no standing. You can't bring the suit. So when you're doing spell work, first of all, best rule is you got no business fucking with somebody else. However, if you have standing and that person's activities are causing you harm, you may certainly do something to put up a barrier. You may certainly do something to protect yourself. And if you're really brave, you may do something to reach out and touch someone. Go ahead and try it. You'll find out what happens. Rebound can be harsh. So you learn over years and years and years of experience what's worth doing and what's not worth doing. And one of the best ways to shut somebody down is the mirror box. Now, I'm still entangling my karma, but this is one of the safest ways because it really puts them in a container of their own making, and I take responsibility for that, and I claim standing because I am a citizen of the country that he is causing harm to. And I have standing as an American citizen. He directly affects me as my president. Though he's not my president. And that gives me standing. So, on behalf of the American people, I put him in a mirror box. And he's been sitting below my altar, and he's going to stay there until they have him well and truly wrapped up and in custody. And then I will take it out. And I will tell you also, I'm sure you've heard this a million times from me, when he got elected, I had an image in my mind of him being led away in handcuffs. And that image has persisted and persisted and persisted. And I am waiting for that image because then I get to sing the I Got It Right song. Oracle of Whimsy talks about the I Got It Right song. I got it right. I got it right. She's a remote viewer. She had been talking for a while, like months, about doing a remote viewing and seeing Lindsey Graham, that Lindsey Graham was going to be the one to go to the president, and that the wording was, we offer you the opportunity, or we offer you the privilege, or something like that, of resigning. That he was the one, and we've already seen Lindsey Graham was the one that went down and talked him off the ledge on Christmas Day into signing that legislation. So she did the I Got It Right dance, but she may even get it right beyond this, because the calls for resignation are getting louder and louder and louder. And now that Mitch McConnell is fed up with him, and thank the gods, all except the seditious 12, our senators and our Congress has stood up as one and said, we are going to follow the Constitution and the rule of law and get this job done. So, I feel great pride in our Congress right now and in our democracy. And it may actually be that Lindsey is the boy that gets to go and tell him, we're going to offer you the opportunity to resign. And if you don't, you're getting 25th Amendmented. Remember that he has Secret Service that are there to protect him, even from himself. And 25th Amendment says this person is no longer fit to serve. The fact that Mike Pence has stood up and said this will not stand, that these people are domestic terrorists, and so we've heard the right things from the right people, and now we get to see what happens. I mean, the Trump the Donald still is head of the military, but messages are coming from the Joint Chiefs of Staff too, that we know exactly where they stand. So history in the making. Holy shit. Okay, the waves are down. Yeah, people pulling his strings. He's, white coat guys. Yeah, well, white coat guys, absolutely. But he has committed crimes against our democracy and against the Constitution that he swore to uphold. He committed them last Saturday when he called and tried to talk Georgia's Secretary of State into overturning Georgia's election result. He has broken so many laws. That was the first, but this one is the last straw. That was kind of the first straw of the weekend. You knew he was going out with a fuss. This is the last straw. So we've got our sage burning, and then I offer you ocean water, earth and water in a pentagram to ground. So just for a moment, let's ground together. Take your breath, drop it way down in your belly. Drop down out of your head now. Give yourself permission for a short while now to drop out of your head the racing thoughts, the hitchy breath. Drop down into your body now. Okay. If your breath is feeling very shallow, make sure you exhale fully. And I am only able to do this right now because I like I said, I had to take my rescue meds to get things on an even keel. Put your attention on your butt. And whatever your butt is sitting on right now, just really feel that. Feel the support. Feel the pull of gravity. Feel the earth beneath your feet. And I call in the element of earth right now to ground us, to hold us, to keep us secure, to stabilize. Let us feel the solid foundation of history and democracy under our feet, the foundation of the Constitution. And let us feel trust in all of the like-minded people. And that is our solid foundation. And to pull in even further, let's feel the foundation of our body, this body that enfolds this soul and carries us through every day. And we ask that this sense of grounding be accessible to everyone that needs it tonight. I want to ask everyone to please be aware of your intake of the news and be aware of your stress level while you are staying aware of what's going on. And when you feel your breath getting shallow, when you feel things getting hectic, to please stop and ground. You do not have to carry this energy in your body. And now let's call on the element of air to clear the racing thoughts, the chattering mind, the thoughts of fear that are coming up, the catastrophic images that are coming up, the oh no, what's going to happen. And let's generate instead the thoughts of hope, the glimmers of hope, the solid knowledge that we have people who are skilled and ethical and really motivated and determined right now to hold on to the democracy that they worked so hard to be part of. And we can put that hope out there, and may they feel our support at this moment as they are locked down in that Capitol. Can you imagine how scared? Can you imagine what a day when they're on the floor of the Congress, in the House, and they're being told to lock the doors, and they hear shots, and they hear people pounding on the door, and they're told to get their gas masks together, and they're ushered out of the room to a safe place. Can you imagine the fear and terror and trauma that these people went through on our behalf today? So we send them our best vibes and our hope and our faith in them, and clear out our thoughts. And then I call in the element of fire, that our passion be ignited, and the flame of liberty. Think of the Statue of Liberty and her torch burning bright. This is our democracy, and it's burning ever brighter. The ones that are causing this trouble are few compared to the many, many. So we light that fire and that flame, and we also light it in honor of the more than 350,000 that have given their lives due to the inaction of this illegitimate president. So let that fire of justice and hope and vision burn brightly for us, and give us the motivation to keep going, to keep fighting in waves. When you're too tired, you step back and somebody else comes forward, and keep the flame burning. And then I call upon the element of water, that we may be aware of our feelings and let them flow, that we may let emotion rise and let it move through when it happens. I was sitting watching Rachel Maddow a little while ago and just broke down crying because it's like, wow, what's happening. So let us let it flow through so that we can feel it, be informed by it, be connected to each other by it, knowing others are feeling the same, and then let it move through and bring healing along with it. And then back to the earth element in order to bring this to reality, physical reality of safety and moving forward and shutting down those who would harm our democracy. And then we call in the spirit. And let's look at the Divine Feminine Oracle and see which goddess we're calling in here. We call in... Oh boy, that's a big chunk. No way. No way I'm doing that. Okay, and that's a big chunk of myrrh. Interesting. So huge chunk. And that's a big chunk of myrrh. I'm probably going to be coughing over this, so I'm going to leave that big hunk there. But I would not be breathing if I put that on there. So in honor of the goddess, please, 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 come forward. Who do we need tonight to help us help comfort us and help carry us forward? Oop. Okay, there she is. Miao Shan, Princess of Mercy. Giving is receiving. We got 3. Giving is receiving. The energy of the universe is merciful. Lala, the saint of spoken words. Every word I say becomes a prayer. I am the author of my own story. And Saint Bridget, Our Lady of Exalted Light. I give endlessly because the light is without end. My soul is all I need. All right, so let's see. We have mercy. That's a hard one to get to, isn't it? It's a hard one to get to. What I am reading that as right now is containment, that people need to be contained, and then they need to go through the process of our law. And our law is absolutely merciful. We don't have barbaric law. Well, kind of. We do have some pretty barbaric laws. Yeah. And then the goddess of spoken words, every word I say becomes a prayer. So thinking about the words that you would like to put out, your intentions, the prayer to lift this energy up out of the mud that they've been wallowing in. And the prayer that I would like to speak right now is that this president be removed within the next 24 hours, and that the traitors who follow him be prosecuted, and that a message gets sent very clearly very soon that this is the fate of domestic terrorists in the United States. That is my prayer. Saint Bridget, exalted light, my soul is all I need. I give endlessly because the light is without end. So that's telling me we just need to keep generating light, light, light. And trust in the fact that in one term, this president has lost the presidency, the House, and the Congress. That has not happened since 1932. We have now a Democratic House, a Democratic Congress, or a Democratic Senate, and a Democratic president coming in. And they're going to get things done. So we lift it up to the light, lift it up to the light, lift it up to the light, and see that torch burning very much brighter. This is an historic moment, and it's been leading to this for 4 years. This is a culmination point. So the moon passes Pluto, that moon-Pluto square, and I'm going to bump that myrrh off of there because, ooh, baby. And so that means, and Mars is now separating from that square with Saturn. No, it's applying to the square with Saturn. So the Mars-Saturn square, the action of government is applying right now. What's separating is the Moon-Pluto thing. So this emotional display of dominance. Okay. My mouth is all dry because I have also drunk coffee because I had to take Xanax. All right. Amen and let it be. That's right. Words are spells. I love it. They probably had no idea that was a picture of Benedict Arnold. All right. Amen, and so mote it be. That's right. Mercy is fierce. Ferocious compassion is one of Tara's aspects. All right. So the three that I've got here are the Russian Roma, my deck, my Hanson Roberts, and the Psy cards. And the Hanson Roberts, as I was sitting shuffling and listening to the news, I had two jumpers. And one of them was, first one was the Three of Pentacles, and the second one was the Eight of Pentacles. So the three talks about mastery and skill, people that have a lot of skill. And that's our Congress. These people know what the hell they're doing. Even though we do need term limits, there are people that are lifelong politicians. They know the game inside and out. They know absolutely what's possible. So relying on them. And then we have the Apprentice card, the Eight of Pentacles. These are the new ones coming in. And, ugh, sorry. It's going to get to me. Here we go. The new ones coming in, and, you know, this Congress has been seated. Now we have two new Democratic senators that are going to be seated. And there's a lot that we can get done. A lot that we can get done. So, so interesting jumpers there. If you have any insight on those two that I missed, please let me know. So what do we want to ask tonight to go through all of the signs? First of all, I don't think I have that energy. And we did something on, you know, for January for the signs last Saturday or last Wednesday or whenever the hell that was. My sense of time is shot. I have socially distanced from my calendar. But speaking of calendar, I will tell you, we are going into the shadow of the next Mercury retro on the 14th. So, whatever they're going to do, they need to do it now, because we're having this inauguration on a Mercury retro. So expect things to change. I'm honestly kind of aghast and not believing that they're going to have this open public inauguration ceremony. I don't know. But we'll see. So let's prep the decks, okay? And let's go to our next little prayer of allies and ancestors, guides and guardians. I welcome you. Please come. Give us the answers that we need in order to be assured and faithful and hopeful and prepared and aware. And I offer you fire of Azrael. All right. So what do we want to start with? I'm going to start with my Hanson Roberts. And I'm going to ask, we're going to do just my 9 card, or 10 card. I always say 9, whoop, and somebody flipped. The devil. All right. So let's stick him in the middle. Actually, let's put him over to the side. So there's the devil. That's what we're asking about. Is this person who's got control of things and more control of us than we've got of him? this person who is obsessed and out of balance and, obsessed with wealth and control and power and domination. All right. Holy shit, you guys. And so I didn't really have a specific question. What I was thinking of is what happens from here? How are things going to work out? And if this doesn't look pretty damn good to you, I don't know what you're looking at. We've got the celebration card right in the middle and next to the wish card and next to temperance. So things are going to balance out. They will get control of this. What I'm looking at here says things aren't going to go berserk and get out of control. The Queen of Pentacles here, one of the things I've been thinking about is the fact that we come in in control of all three branches, or, all three, the House, the Senate, and the presidency. And all of those have had Democrats saying $600 is not enough relief money for the American people. And I think we're going to be seeing some of that rectified soon. More relief money. She's, the pregnant holding the rabbit. The Two of Cups is talking about a meeting of the minds, people coming together. There's nothing like a shared trauma to make people dump their petty differences and work together, right? So here I'm seeing two sides coming together, two sides working together. Let's see. Fucking A. And the Ohio Attorney General, they're going to prosecute anybody who was participating. Yes, that's what needs to happen. So agreement from both sides of the aisle, but then we've got some disgruntlement over here too. So there's still going to be some that are licking their wounds and that are going to be boo-hooing and sulking. But, what are we going to do about that? Down here, Temperance says things come into balance. Lessons are learned. Negotiations happen. Things go back and forth. Temperance talks about not going too far one way or too far this way, but balancing, blending, assimilating. Then we have a great cause for celebration, and the wish card comes up. So, these are talking about things are going to work out here. And then down at the bottom, we have 10 of Rods next to the World. So there's a huge burden. There's a lot of work to be done. A lot of work to be done here. There's a lot of fixing. Biden's presidency is going to be dealing with fixing our democracy. Lots of fixing going on. 7 of Rods says there's definitely a lot of challenges coming at him. But the World card, to me, that talks about having all three, the presidency and the Congress, and both arms of the Congress. So we have, this is all access to pick up those burdens. The first thing they have to do is get through that backlog of how many hundreds of bills are sitting on McConnell's desk. He is no longer Senate Majority Leader. That's enough to celebrate, right there. That's enough to celebrate. So regardless, I'm sorry, you guys. That Murr kicked my ass. Regardless, now what the hell was I going to say? Oh, talking about the Mitch McConnell. Regardless of what happened in the Capitol today and what we saw and what it has kicked off, this could turn out to be the best thing that could have happened, because this is such an extreme action. And when Biden made his speech and told Trump, you need to step up and call for peace here, the first thing he did was incite. I feel your pain. This election was stolen from us, and all of those, that insightful stuff. And then we love you, go home. Oh my God. So we needed this in order to shut this man down for good and forever. You knew he wasn't going to the inauguration, and we need him wrapped up so he's unable to leave this country, so he faces the lawsuits that he's in for. This is why he's so desperate to hang on to the office, because he's in big ass trouble the second he steps out. He was going to fly to Scotland. They told him, sorry, travel bans, you can't come. So he can't leave this country. But he's planning whatever he can plan. And so we need to get him wrapped up before he tries to leave. That's what I'm looking at. Yeah, beyond wrongdoing and right doing is a field. Absolutely. So I'm thinking that this is the backlog of legislation that needs to be gotten through. We're going to see so much legislation in this presidency, and we're going to get a lot done, but it's going to be extremely challenging. And then we have Four of Pentacles here. This is going to be the big argument hanging over everything, as usual, is, we don't have enough money, but we can vote the Republicans down now. If we have all the Democrats in unison looking at spending for social programs the way we should have been doing all along here, and raising taxes and things like that, Kamala will be there to break the deadlock, and we can get things through and we can change things. All right. Oh, I didn't see the video of the Scotland leader. So, all right. So there's one. The devil. Oh, wait. I'm going to leave him right there for a second. And let's ask specifically about Trump and what's going to happen here. What happens just within the next few days here with Trump? Did something flip? Oh, it did. All right. Yeah. Oops. Yep, we need to stop bailing out Wall Street. We need to tax the wealthy. I mean, come on. They will still be wealthy and pay their fair share. I saw a story today about this coast-to-coast bike trail that's being built, and it will go through 12 states and coast to coast, and you can bike it. And I'm thinking, we could have had coast-to-coast rail. We could have had coast-to-coast national rail system, a national bullet train system. Can you imagine how incredible that would be in this country? We could have bridges that aren't falling apart instead of more and more billionaires that take the money out of this country. Okay, so 2 more fell down here. Let's see what they are. So, first of all, we've got the Four of Swords, moratorium. He is going to be put to rest here. This is saying, yeah, this is a break. This is him out of action. All right? And then the Hanged Man also is something that's in stasis and waiting, and he's going to be awaiting lots of subpoenas is what he's going to be awaiting. This is a card that comes up when you're not in control of your destiny, and you're not in control of circumstances. And then the question becomes, what do you do when you're not in control? You have to submit. So he's going to have to submit. I see that, he's going to be out of power. Power taken away. Now these two, there's a lot of challenges, certainly. Then Ten of Cups is the happy family. His kids are going to stick by him no matter what. And they're going to be, poor Daddy Pooh, Daddy Pooh. The question is whether he can be sufficiently shut down. And the thing is, you're looking at what? Trump News Network, Trump this, Trump that, Trump TV to keep what he craves, which is the attention of his people. And so he needs to be shut down, and the actions he has taken are seditious. Have you ever seen somebody tried for treason? I don't remember if I have. We might have seen, like, people that shared documents and shit like that. I know Julian Assange, they tried to extradite him and can't do it. But yes, the yes, New York City um, Attorney General is ready to go after him. Absolutely. And let me see, Capricorn energy, new moon Capricorn. Parliament Funkadelic Mantra. Let it all come out into the light of day. Yep, yep. Absolutely. And look at, the Roma readings that I've been doing, the book card has come up again and again and again, secrets coming out into the light of day, information coming out. No, we have never had something like this ever. But yeah, we're ready. And our country, like with Nixon, he was pardoned, he resigned, he willingly gave up the office. And at that time, yes, it might have been a case of it's time for the country to move on and heal. And that was one man doing something. But then when we got to Bush and Cheney doing waterboarding and committing, violating the Constitution in that way and not being prosecuted, that was a big slide on this slippery slope. And Michigan, what happened in the Michigan State House and those people not being arrested was another slide on that slippery slope. We've just been watching these things erode. Well, it's time to shore it up again and build it up again. Let's see. Yep. Yep, book and letter have been coming up a lot. That's absolutely right. Okay, so we see, Trump kind of being put on ice and being at the mercy of something he's not in control of. Oh, so mote it be. Let's go to the Romas. Let's get these primed. I'm going to clear them 5 times. Okay. Have I been on here for almost an hour already? Well, I'm willing to hang out as long as anybody wants to hang out. And if you have specific questions that you want to ask, just please, All right, so that's 5. Now, I want to ask. Asking as the collective, asking as the people of America who are under assault at this moment. Our democracy, our government is under assault. 2, 3. Please tell me what's coming. This is 4. Let's look at the next week. 5, 6. What is coming in terms of Trump and our government? All right, here we go. Okay, we have scythe, anchor, ring, bird, scale, crayfish, fish, house, branches, scythe, mountain, snake, ship, mice, horses, wood. Okay, goddesses, let's move you over here. Oh, and I have something new to ask you guys about. Ship. Ooh. Somebody going somewhere. Upside down. I have just today discovered a system similar to Lenormand called Kipper. Have you ever heard of Kipper cards? Never, ever in my life have I heard of them. Okay. A group out there that many of the senators... Okay, so we've got ship, upside down, period of influence is middle, and it's about finances and adventure, material loss or unsuccessful efforts. Not every explorer came back with riches, and this is a card, yeah, finances and adventure, it can talk about travel, but in this position, it is unsuccessful efforts and material loss. Not all your efforts will be successful. This is not a time to take a gamble. Okay, careful in investment matters. Russian proverb states, overseas there's a cow that costs half a penny. Although things might be cheap in other countries, they're expensive to bring back. So, first of all, I think that kind of validates him wanting to leave. But this is talking about just general misfortune and loss and unsuccessful efforts. So this attempted coup, unsuccessful. But I got to tell you that what I'm seeing is there's going to be pockets. We're going to be dealing all over this country with pockets of crazies. And those are going to be happening in different sorts of, jurisdictions. And some places we've got police forces that are ethical. Some places they're all white supremacists. So things are going to be playing out for a while here. Crayfish Horseshoe Forest Bridge. Sun Apple Angel Horseshoe. All right. All right. And this is a symbol for success. Good fortune awaits you. Okay. If you asked about a certain proposal, it will meet with success. Could be a job you're applying for. So interesting. We've got something unsuccessful and then success. I don't even want to speculate. I mean, I'm asking about us. I asked about Trump, but I'm asking about us too. So there will be unsuccessful efforts, and then there will be success. And I'm gotta hope that that's going to be the transition of power and the successful shutting down of this fuckhead. All right. We've got fire pig, owl. Okay, we've got owl. Upright as well. Yes, Kipper System is from Germany. I just ordered some. They're very, they're very similar to Lenormand, but different in that there's a lot of people. There's like a regular man and a regular woman, and then there's the noble lord and the gracious lady or something, and then there's like a successful man, successful woman. Very interesting, different enough that I went and got a hold of them. Okay. At present time, you want to act unwisely. So this is short, and it's problems with immediate projects. At the present moment, you want to act unwisely. Perhaps you want to invest money you shouldn't pursue a losing proposition. Okay, so Trump wants to act unwisely. Yeah, he's now flipping out. I mean, I'm trying to imagine, because these people are real. They're in a real space in real time right now having real discussions. And I try to imagine what the discussions are that are going on. I imagine that that there's a confab going on in the White House. His children are there, fawning daddy, 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 daddy. And I don't know if you noticed the speech that he put out on Twitter, how he looked. He looked better than he's looked in a while, because he is in his megalomaniac, despotic, dictator, inciting violence mode, and he likes it. It makes him feel good to be the ultimate bully. Other things like with the election and stuff, you saw him, but now that he's doing this display of power and making these power moves, he feels good. That's what makes him feel good. That's why the devil card came out for him, because he's a fucking devil. So this is talking about you're thinking about things that aren't such a good idea. And maybe that's the talks that are going on around him, is he's throwing out all these ideas. Can we call up the military? Can we send in this? Can we do that? And hopefully there are discussions around him where he's being talked down from the ledge. Oh, they suspended him for 12 hours. Yeah, baby. They couldn't shut his account down because, they said they're going to kill it as soon as he's not president anymore, that they have to allow the account to stand now because of this world leader thing that they must have access to address people. But if he's fucking up that badly, then so we know it's going to get killed as soon as Biden says I do, and but that he's shut down for 12 hours. Oh, he's ready to explode. You know he is. So he's thinking about things that are really bad ideas and can't we do that? And I want to, and he's going to find the limit of his power very soon. Did they pull it? Well, it's inciting violence, and it did, and a woman died because of it. She was on his side. Still, somebody died in the Capitol building. Well, she died after, but she was shot in the Capitol building. Okay. And then we have the bouquet going that away. I mean, those of us that are, in our silverback years that went through Nixon. And it's like, I remember my parents, everybody was just glued to the TV for the Watergate hearings. And there's a really fabulous video that was made of, oh God, I don't remember his name, that had the big bushy eyebrows, that was like in charge of the proceedings. And when he talked, his eyebrows would go like this. And there's this great song with all this mumbly stuff. I'll try to find it. It's really funny. Yeah, he can't have his precious. Oh my God. Yes, absolutely. His actions will be unsuccessful, but then we will have success. And the ship, again, that ship came up when I asked which man in the Lenormand reading, and it was like the man that's leaving. So man that's leaving, unsuccessful, government successful in doing what it wants to do tonight. And I mean, the statements that I heard from people inside the Capitol that were talking to news saying, we are determined to get this done tonight. We will not be terrorized out of doing our sworn duty on the day it's supposed to be done. So like I said, nothing like shared trauma to bring people together. All righty, Clover. No, bouquet is what I want. Oh, that's 9. It looks like a 2. Their 9 and 6 have a little line at the bottom of them, so you can tell the difference. All right, bouquet. Fulfillment of a hope. The hopes people have vary. They can be small or large. Your hope needs to be something you want to do, physically, mentally capable of doing. It says your hope will turn to reality. So, might take long hours. Don't give up. Russians say a hen eats only a grain at a time, but eventually she gets full. All right, so the hopes. What are our hopes? I mean, beyond hope that we're going to have a fully democratic presidency and Congress at the same time. And my hope, too, I mean, that's only for 2 years, folks, because then we got midterms. And maybe if they get enough done in those first 2 years, those midterms can give us an even stronger hold, and we can really turn things back around. Okay. That's very encouraging. Let's keep going. They can't have his precious. I love that, Rose. Precious. We want it. Okay. Cat and heart and rooster and lilies and birds and clover and castle. Handshake. Demons and rooster. No, that was rooster. Bread and child. Dog and lily and heron and handshake. Moon, castle, cavalier, cat. All right, let's move them up. But think about watching what we've been watching today and the feelings that it's brought up. I mean, he has traumatized us again and again and again. This is trauma that we're experiencing. And I want to shout out to all of my viewers that aren't in the U.S. and your countries, almost all of which have gone through these kinds of things, and we've watched it happen, and some of them have been our fault, or aided and abetted by us. And we're just not used to this in America, and that's been one of our problems is we've been complacent. So, all right, no match there. We got Bear, Coffin, Clover. All right, see, it helps if I say the pictures because I don't miss them. Clover. Happiness slightly clouded by a misunderstanding. So this is luck. Happiness is the ultimate good. It can't be achieved by itself. We get it from having health, wealth, knowledge, friendship, and virtue. The achieving of any one of these leads to happiness, but if we pursue only one aspect, such as wealth, and not the others, we cannot attain happiness. What are you doing that's preventing you from being totally happy? Devoting too much time to work? Okay. Happiness slightly clouded by misunderstanding. Forgetting to communicate with people around you. Well, I think, happiness of a presidential election that we had a result that was clear, that there wasn't fraud, but we've got this argument still hanging, and these people that are radical that aren't going to be cooperating and going along. The thing that always will blow my mind is if you look at the people out there today causing problems, these were his people, but his people aren't his class. The things that he does that benefit him don't benefit them. And that's what I don't get. The misunderstanding. So I'm wondering if it's talking about these people where the Democrats coming in, and these, so many of these people are low income. They're blue collar workers. That they don't understand that when we lift everyone up, they get lifted up too. And the misunderstanding is that if someone else that isn't like you gets uplifted, it doesn't mean you lose. We're not trying to take rights away from anyone. We're just trying to get them for the ones that don't have them. But the zero-sum mentality says if somebody else gets something nice, that means I have less of it. So people that could be happy, but they don't understand that it's right in front of them. Okay, nothing there, nothing there. We got fish pig, anchor letter, nothing there. All right. And just the fact that the clover and the horseshoe came up, those are reassurances to me that indeed we're going to come out of this okay. I certainly think there's going to be more skirmishes. And I think maybe that Clover's talking about that too, happiness, that things will work out. But the misunderstanding, there's still going to be some skirmishes. There's still going to be some shenanigans going on. I'm just praying that few people die because of it. And, we had those people out there today, no masks, another super spreader event in the name of violence and chaos. So, what you sow, sowing violence and chaos and insurrection, guess what's coming back to you? And now we have the lady, and I'm just going to put this one there because it's next up. All right, lady pointing that way. Helping hand is given to you not in friendship, but due to hidden love. Ooh. It's support and help. I realize I've not had this card come up. A man or a woman who's offering help. It means someone's helping you, giving you support, but for an ulterior reason, hidden love. Okay, keep in mind the other person likes you. All right, blah, blah, blah. So we're talking about, this is very specific, hidden love affair. Picture also can refer to someone much younger having a puppy love crush on you. Look around, don't necessarily... All right, here's a Russian proverb. Don't spit into the well, you may need to drink the water. Okay. So this is talking about ulterior motives. The ones they're talking about aren't really applicable to the situation here. Yeah, is anybody getting anything out of that makes sense for the context? All right. All right, just ulterior motives. I mean, that's what I'm getting from that, and an offer of a helping hand. Um, I'm going to take this that we really are going to get more relief. I mean, when you look at the Democrats unanimously voting for a higher level of relief money and then getting shut down, um, because Mitch refused to bring it to a vote, I think we're going to see something move there. And I'm going to let that lady stand for compassion and mothering and the recognition that people need help. All right. Then let's look at the 4. There is so much fear in people. There's a tremendous amount of fear, and who wouldn't be afraid? We've got these asshole crazy people armed to the fucking teeth. Armed to the teeth. And I saw some fool going into the Capitol building with buffalo horns on his head and these furs and tattoos and no shirt and everything, and I'm like, who is this fool? Who is this fool? You know? Yeah, okay. So they poisoned their own cause. Yeah, them spitting in the well. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Um, and that is true too. Fear is control, you know? If you want to control, best way to keep people enslaved is to put the prison in their heads. And they're crazy to begin with. We're dealing with epidemic mental illness here. These people are mentally ill. There's no two ways about it. They're sociopaths. We've got psychopaths and sociopaths here. Um, oh, has he? Oh, my goodness. So, you know, all of them should be arrested. Every single one of them that went into that Capitol building that's been vandalized. I can't believe that they're just pushing these people out and letting them leave. And there's a lot to play out on that. There's an awful lot to play out on that. Maybe that's the helping hand with the ulterior motive, is the cops, over trying to keep the peace, but it's like, no, we're really white supremacists and we're on your side, you know? So maybe that's it. All right, let's take a look at dog. That is a symbol for friends. It's going this way. A person you consider a friend is untrue to you. That there's going to be more fallout. I saw more people talking about, the yeah buts. This absolutely should not stand. These people are domestic terrorists. Yeah, but the BLM protesters did this and did that. Nah, 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 nah. Okay, the people that are doing this on the Capitol have all their rights. They're not fighting not to be killed by police. They're just going at it because they don't like what happened in the election. They don't like that they lost, and they're being lied to. So there's a difference. Yep, that's the guy I'm talking about, the Viking guy, horns. He would have looked great in a ritual except for the American flag on his face, but he looked like a damn fool going into that Capitol building. A fool and a domestic terrorist. Okay. A person you consider a friend is untrue to you. Let's just keep going. So, there's also the fact that somebody was talking about Mitch McConnell and, wow, he really stood up and did this and that. And I said, yes, it was a stunning display of self-preservation. Now that they see what's happening with Trump, there's going to be a lot of ass covering, and they're trying to preserve their own careers. And, especially the 12 that were trying to, protest the certification and aided and abetted this whole thing, they need to lose their jobs in Congress. They absolutely do. All right. Then we have the boy. Travel in the near future. Travel to New York, hopefully. And into custody. 22 is the road, so that's also talking about going somewhere. And that way is a lonely and boring road or work. Making license plates is pretty boring, I hear. What do you hear? So, people that you can't trust. Let's take this around Trump. Some people around you are untrue to you. I think Well, he's going to find out that the Secret Service isn't loyal to him. They just have to protect him. That's their job, but they're not loyal to him. And as soon as he's not the president anymore, yes, they have to protect him, but the loyalty then goes to the sitting president. And, you know, if he is putting himself in danger by refusing to leave the White House or trying to squat or something, they will protect himself from himself by getting him the fuck out of there. So this one, lonely and boring road or work. So yeah, he's going to be twiddling his thumbs and not getting much of anywhere. But yes, he will be traveling from Washington, D.C. and to the courtrooms. Many, many courtrooms. And then we have the sun, prosperity, flourishment, life's caress, happiness. Well, I mean, it's hard because it's like Trump, us, what's going on? Is this Trump or us? The long, boring work could also be there's just a hell of a lot to go through. And I think we're going to be watching a lot of TV. I won't be. I'll be watching the highlights, but a lot of TV of what's going on in Congress. There's going to be shit tons of hearings going on. And the fact that Mitch McConnell no longer has a fucking vice grip on the nuts of the Senate, it's going to be very, very, very interesting. So that sun coming up at the end, prosperity, flourishment, and happiness, I think that we finally are going to be able to exhale. As soon as we get this man under wraps, because they cannot let these 2 weeks play out without anything being done. They cannot. As soon as this is wrapped up, I think we're going to have just such a collective exhale. And then guess what? We're still going to be under lockdown in a pandemic, but perhaps our new leadership then is going to be able to take over, get the vaccines rolled out the way they should have been, fix the post office, help our healthcare workers, and then we can really start actually dealing with this pandemic and doing something about it. Rather than just, oh, states, you're on your own. Oh, no, we're going to, you know, this bullshit and 350,000 dead. So, yes, I agree. The sociopaths and Stephen Miller, oh, baby, is he one? He is the one in chief. That man, there's something really wrong. If you watch that man's eyes and the way he talks, it's kind of terrifying. Also, there are 2 channels that I've been binging lately. Oh, yes, that's right. Iran, didn't they issue a warrant? Indicted, yep. Indicated. They'd like a few words with them. So it's going to get mighty fucking interesting and exhausting. So again, I want to tell you to please watch your intake and pay attention to your stress levels. There was something else I was going to say there, and I don't remember what it was. Stephen Miller. Oh, the 2 channels I've been watching. One of them is called Observe, and it's a man who's an expert in body language, in nonverbal communication. And it's absolutely fascinating. And then there's one called, I think it's JCS, Criminal Investigation, something like that. But he analyzes tapes of these criminal interrogations and the tactics that the interrogators use, and watching, you know, the way the people respond, and talking about how guilty people react as, you know, opposed to innocent people, and things that can't be faked in those reactions. And it's absolutely fucking fascinating, because as a very Plutonian person, I am so aware that everybody has the capacity for big, dark things, you know? And my question has always been, what makes me different from that person? You look at these monstrous people and it's like, okay, what's the difference between me and them? And it's just absolutely fascinating to watch, because these people are readers as well. You know, it's a different kind of reading. All right. Now I want to do, let's go to Psy Cards and do something for, like, all of us. Let's ask about us, shall we? Okay. Yeah, I mean, you talk about the stress and the fear and everything, but watching it happen, you're also like, finally, yes, you know, it's kind of like popping a zit that's been taking a while to come to a head. We're lancing the fucking boil on the ass of the nation, right now. And this boil has come to a head. The gloves are completely off. There's no pretense whatsoever of our Nazi white supremacist president, you know. So yep, yep. We need term limits. We need people in Congress to work for minimum wage. They can get their travel expenses and a hell of a lot of perks that go with it, but they need to work for minimum wage. They need to have the insurance that's available to people who work minimum wage. And the same thing with pensions. They need to have to invest in a 401k and take care of their own damn future, you know? All right. This I am asking about us. Us, the collective, the American people, those of us that are watching right now, those of us that are here together. And we're asking for advice. I'm going to do 9 cards. Alrighty. Those are the first ones. Birth, the stranger, the warrior. All right, so I'm going to take that as stopping shuffling. Shove these under here a little bit. And it's funny because I look at these now and I feel the Lenny vibe to them, although they're not Lenny's. Liberation, the tree, the stars. All right. Okay. So there's certainly a new beginning, but there's a new beginning where there's a lot of unknowns. Birth and the stranger. That there's going to be a lot of unknown territory. That's what I'm looking at the stranger as here, is just unknown territory and new people coming in that we're not sure how they're going to be. And I'm thinking Congress here rather than presidency. But then again, this is about us. I was asking about the American people. All right, I know what this is. We're confronting that part of, you know, we've seen so much ugliness come out of our fellow citizens that we didn't realize was there in that degree. And so we saw the rise of this, the birth of these people that we don't recognize, even though they're our friends and family sometimes. And they start spouting things and we don't recognize them. And it's like, who the fuck are you? And so the warrior comes out then. And we make a stand in our own lives. And when we're looking at this big political stage, it's like, okay, I voted, but that part of the stress, a big part of the stress that comes from watching these things unfold is feeling helpless. What can I do about it? There's nothing I can do about it. I voted, I donated to who I needed to do, I did my civic duty, and there's nothing I can do about this, and we can feel kind of guilty about that as well. But the truth is, we look close to home and just say, what can I do in my own environment, in local politics, in my own life? How can I become the warrior and, stand up for democracy in my sphere of influence? And, another thing, when we feel helpless about not being able to do anything about it, that can cause us to watch more of it because, the least I can do is watch and suffer with you. And so we bring stress on ourselves, but we have to stay functional. We have to stay functional. So turn your warrior energies to your close-in environment, local politics. Get involved in local politics. I can tell you I'm going to take a hell of a lot more interest now. And, we have a little town in our little city council meetings and things like that. But it is time to get active in our very sphere of influence and bring that warrior energy. All right. In the middle here, fortune, the tower, the voyage. Let's see here. The tower in the middle, and I'm going with kind of the Lenny things here, which talks about success and achievement. And what I'm looking at here, too, is the institutions, our institutions that we look to, the things that give our lives structure. All right, fortune and the voyage. Let's see. I think that I'm looking at the staircase here, talking about taking steps in order to build something up that is strong again. We've had things that have been crumbling. So we're taking the steps and seeking our fortune and creating our fortune as we create new structures, new institutions, a government that really does function for the people and that really is for the people. And, you know, please, 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 can we fucking kill the Electoral College? You know, I heard McConnell saying something about, I think it was McConnell's speech, about the Electoral College. You know, thank God we have that, because some states would have hardly any voice at all. Elections like this, national elections, the presidential election, is not about the states. It's about the individuals. It's about every person in this country having an equal say, and we, as the full country collective voice, are the ones that say, here's who we want to run our country. Not putting it to the states and trying to give little states as much power as big states. That's why it's out of whack, is it needs to be the people, not the states, in that case. Okay, let me catch up with with things here. No. These cards are the Psi cards. That's what these are. And they are archetypes, yes. Yes, Anne has this deck too. Okay, yep. Yep. All right. And then pulling out the side cards. Yeah, I mean, it could be behind, honey. It depends. I think the sometimes the chat goes a little bit quicker than the video does. I know there's at least like a 10-second lag between my talking and when it goes, and I you know, when the video actually goes. So I don't know. I don't know if the chat keeps up or if the chat is ahead of the video. Sometimes I'm not sure how that works. Yeah. Yep. Exactly. Electoral College is slaveholder math. Yes, ma'am, it is. All right. Now, the voyage. That's just saying we're going to get somewhere, that we follow our fortune, we take the steps we need to do to rebuild our institutions, to strengthen them, to plug the holes that this administration showed us were there. And let's take a moment to recognize the fact that if we didn't just put up with this motherfucker for 4 years, we wouldn't know these things that need to be fixed and how badly they need to be fixed. From our policing, who we let be police, we need to have them, they need master's degrees. You know, you don't have to have much qualification at all to be a police officer. So we need to restructure the police. We need to restructure election process. We need to restructure education. The pandemic is taking us here as well. So you look at all these, you know, the heavy planets in Capricorn and all the restriction and the heaviness and the that we've been going through. Well, now as these things go into Aquarius, it's like now we've seen the problems, and this is what that Pluto transit through Capricorn, it shows us all the ick, and man has it ever, in our institutions and our traditions and our government. And now these last 4 years of Pluto in Capricorn, we get to decide what are we doing about it. And when Pluto hits Aquarius, we're either going to be an out-and-out revolution, or we are really, really going to be moving at restructuring across the board. So, Voyage card then says we move on. We fix our structures and our institutions, and then we start getting somewhere. And where do we get? We have liberation. Liberation, purging out our slave state ideologies. Purging out white supremacy in our institutions, racism in our institutions, sexism and misogyny in our institutions. And by the time Pluto's going into Aquarius, Kamala will be president. Yeah, They were talking about when Obama took office, and he had a luncheon at the Oval Office with all of the former presidents and thanked them. And there's this beautiful photograph. Obama's just beaming. Look at these guys. You know, it was H.W. Bush, Carter, and Clinton. And just what a wonderful thing that was. And they were saying, you know, he said, everybody here understands that the presidency isn't the man and it changes the man. And that didn't happen, of course, when Trump came into office. But when Kamala comes into office, and she will be there with Obama and W and Clinton, and I'm sure, I don't know if Jimmy will still be with us by then. I hope he is, but, you know, a whole different thing. So we have hopes. So we have liberation here, that we are finally set free from, and let's face it, there's a lot of ways in which our government is bloated and needs to be more efficient. And we have the ability to do that. Then we have the tree and the stars. Look at the roots and the sky. We have the tree that talks about the roots and our tradition and how that is growing and blossoming into our future. And then we have the stars, which to me just represents hope and destiny and the ability to take something from this little seed into the sky's the limit. That's what I'm seeing there. Anybody else have some contributions there? Let me catch up with the... Okay, I got to scroll back on comments here. Yeah, they're great cards. Hi, Johan. Is it Johanni? Johanni. Hi, sweetie. Big old orange light. They won't, but you know what? They're going to weed out a lot of people. A master's degree is going to train someone in de-escalation, in how to be a community worker and how to deal with people. The other part of that is that we have to not have our police be counselors. We need to have other people that we can deploy. We need to have counseling teams that can go when someone is having a mental health crisis rather than cops. We need to be able to send the right people for the crisis, not cops to everything. Because when all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. And the cops go in and they're taught how to use the hammer. Okay? All right. Let's see. And if they are given, you know, training in psychology and things like that, we're going to find out the ones that are white supremacists. We just need the institutional change, and we should require more of the people that carry guns against our public. Police officer, 3 to 4 years of higher education. Absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. Why do we not want educated people walking around trying to keep our people safe? What they do is they go through training, and then so many of them are looking at people as their adversaries, citizens as their adversaries rather than... And you also should have in this process psychological testing, so we're not letting these ones in that are fucked up and traumatized and out with an axe to grind, you know? That's going to come out in 3 to 4 years of education. All right. Yep, so we got to strip some things down to the follow. Okay, Joannie. All right, got it. So that's what I'm seeing here, and let's have one more. We have the wheel. That talks about things, the wheel turning, things changing. Things are evolving. Evolution has become compressed in our culture, really since the internet. I mean, it's been compressing through the 20th century with technology, but we're watching it being compressed even more with social media because everything is immediate and happening right now. Watch how our communication has evolved on Facebook, how we've learned how not to flame people. We're learning how to communicate compassionately. We're learning that we don't have to put up with shitty people in the name of family or friends. We're starting to draw a line in the sand of behavior that we will and will not tolerate. So we are evolving as a culture and as a society through social media. we're learning how to vet our sources. We're learning how to think critically on a lot of really important things and how to have important discussions. I look at the discussions that we had through the protests, the BLM protests in the summer, and you know, white people finally shutting the fuck up and listening and learning how to go and do our own learning about racism and not expect black people to educate us. And, you know, we're learning, we're growing. The ones that are capable of it are doing it. And that's what I'm seeing down here. The liberation, the tree, the stars, we're looking at our roots. The fact that they are now going to release records from way back in the slave trade in England and show who was benefiting financially from this. Because a lot of those businesses are still around in one form or another. So we're going to the roots of those things. That will set you free. The truth shall set you free. We got to dig it all out. And then we can reach for the stars and look at our destiny. And the wheel says we're on our way. The water is flowing. The wheel is turning. And we're looking at a lot of big change happening. Banking, should we feel bad for pawns? I'm not sure what you mean there. Well, yeah, there are a lot of people that are. I pray for fucking everybody, you guys. I pray for everybody. I pray that we become enlightened. I pray that we open up to our higher selves and let that higher self manifest. Let it shine forth. I pray that we can rise above pettiness and hatred and anger. I pray that we deal with our own personal trauma. That and this is another thing, healthcare needs such a radical revision in this country. And you know, if we're looking at life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, life is healthcare. Liberty is the prison system. Pursuit of happiness is education and being able to pursue your destiny. Those three things need to be radically, wiped down to the ground and rebuilt. People, I mean, just imagine for a minute, if you could just go someplace and be taken care of when you're sick, when you need your teeth taken care of, when you need glasses, when you need mental health care. Just imagine if you could just go do those things without thinking, can I afford it? Or without, people who don't have access at all. And we can afford to do that if we take the money away from the fucking military. That'll be a fight. But with a Democratic House and Senate and President, we can maybe get a budget going that taxes the wealthy, that pulls some money away from military, and it starts taking care of our people. That's the revolution that needs to happen. In my mind, my humble opinion, what do you think? I mean, what do you guys think? What do you see in these cards, and what do you think? And I'm going to pull out my little bluebird, or my owl, Lennies. I'm not skilled with these Lennies yet, and I have to look things up. But I've been using this deck because it seems to be a little bit... The Titanias are weird. I got on a Learning Lenormand group on Facebook, and it's fascinating because there's a lot of superstition that comes with them. And the idea that you go with these meanings, these are the traditional meanings, and it's not as fluid. And, Tarot, I see this card as meaning this. It's like, nope, here's what they mean. And you stick with it, and you pay attention, and you take the answers as they come. So, before Reagan, we need to tax the wealthy the way they got taxed before Reagan. And so the Titanias, I got good answers from them, but looking up in her book, I was looking them up in the Raina George book, not in Titania's book, because her meanings seem to be very different. And somebody made a comment and said, I don't really trust these cards because the meanings are like way out there. Look, stars. First one out is stars. And that talks about success and hope. And let me have two more here. Tell me, I'm focusing in directly now on the events in the Capitol today. And what's going to be happening now. And of course, I've had an hour and a half now, almost 2 hours away from the news. So don't know what's happening. Okay, there's another one. The Scythe talks about something being cut, something being stopped. Awesome. Incoming visitors from another galaxy. Amen to that. Fucking come on, UFOs. Come on, you guys. Well, they've been hanging out. I think that we would have really seen them coming in if there was nuclear action. If we were about to start blowing shit up, I think we'd see something big. But I think we're pulling this out our own selves, and they're kind of the prime directive of we're not allowed to step in unless they're ready to kill everybody. So which deck am I using now? I am using, it's just called Mademoiselle Lenormand, and it's got a little owl on it. Little blue owl. JMC on the back. Okay. Don't know if it's available. There's one called the Bluebird deck that looks almost identical on the box. And these cards have, these were the first Lennies I started working with, and they confused me because they have a little poem on them. And I just didn't understand. Like this one says, one shining star alone in the skies bodes joy from afar where happiness lies. When clouds obstruct the star from sight, a chance of luck befalls tonight. So if clouds come around it, but it would only mention a card or two. And it's like, well, how, if that card's not there. This one says, the scythe looms bare, danger stalks too, of strangers beware, they can harm you. If some nearby cards hold favorable view, good are the odds you'll overcome too. So scythe talks about, there's a danger. So there's still going to be shenanigans. And that's such a mild word. But there's something being cut off here. All right. Okay. Thanks for the fish. All right. The fish. So the fish talks about money and fortune. When fish swim near in an ocean vast, prospects are clear for a fortune amassed. If fish swim away, hopes are battered. Cheer turns to dismay and dreams are shattered. The fish are swimming towards the stars here. I think that is another good indication that there will be discussions about more relief money immediately. But the scythe here says on the other side something's going to get cut off at the knees here, is what I'm thinking. Let me see what the book says about them, since I am a newbie. But I got to say I'm enjoying them. I mean, that one about the show of power, the bear and the man, and then I was thinking the bear stands for Russia too, and the man, the ship, is like, yeah, he's going to try to skate to Russia. Okay, a card of assurance of continued good fortune and favorable outlook in all endeavors. That's stars. And this card is surrounded by other cards of bad omen. It suggests a sequence of harmful events and unfortunate coincidences. Well, there's the 10. Card pretends great danger, which can be avoided by the presence of surrounding good cards. So these can kind of almost cancel each other out. And then fish. And the way I took them, since I'm not reading them in a sentence this way, it's kind of like on this side and then on this side. Card promises wealth and substantial fortune to the questioner if he's willing to grab the opportunity. Success is apparent in many ventures. When this card is far away, it suggests new ventures will be more difficult to accomplish. So far away means if you're doing a grand tableau and the woman card comes up and you're reading for yourself, it's a woman. If it's what's close to and what's far away from. So they all, placement and everything, they're very fluid, fascinating stuff. All right. So this is talking about good fortune coming towards the stars here, and I'm also going to look at the stars as just the hope that we hold, the joy, the happiness. So something gets cut off here, joy and happiness, and then we have good fortune swimming in. That kind of makes me happy here. Thanks for the fish. Okay. You know what? I have tried to read Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy at least 4 times. And I tried again in like the last 2 years, started reading. It just doesn't catch me. I think I need to just fucking keep reading. And, but I put it down and then I forget that I started reading it because it doesn't pull me in. I've got to finish it one of these days. And you said, it was like so long and thanks for all the fish. I know that quote somewhere. Wasn't there a band or something that there was a so long and thanks for all the fish? I don't remember. The green glyph. Oh, hell no. I'm not getting rid of any. Okay. Books I have to be ready to get rid of too. Oh, no, 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 no. So, yeah, I've got a whole bunch of new decks coming in, but I bought a Kipper deck, and I'm really looking forward to that. And this is, too, me just really diving into the whole, you know, universe of divination and things that are available. I'm thinking about daily content. Going to be a lot simpler than daily unboxings. I'm thinking about something called the Daily Vibe, where it's just 5 minutes or less of here are the aspects that are happening today and here's what they mean. I think I could do that pretty easily. So I'm really looking at that. Okay. Oh, there's a series. Rose Trum. Okay. So, oh my goodness. I hope that you're feeling a little better now. I'm glad that we got to spend time together. My instinct when I was like, ah, I wanted to jump on live right then and just say, let's hang out, let's hang out. But I figured it was better if I just got myself together first and didn't bring my, chronic anxiety attack to you. Interestingly, sometimes when I take my rescue meds, they can make me go kind of psychically blind. Um, I've experienced it before, and it wasn't pleasant at all. Um, but today I feel good. I feel. Who? Is somebody down here? Wait a minute. Let me see. Bye bye. Bye bye. Let me see if we can get a visit from him, his nibs. Bye bye. Where my bee bye? Come on. I know you're feeding. Come on, bee bye. Come on, boo. Is he sleeping? Bee bye, come on. I'll make him move. I'll make him move. Bee bye. Come on, bee bye. Want greenie? Come on. Huh? Okay. Bye bye. Come on, boo. There he is. Come on. Look what I got. Oh, he's sleepy. And Phoebe boy. Come on, boo. Oh, tell me to my baby boy. Oh, my goodness. Mm-hmm. Oh, sleeping. Him is a Phoebe boy. Look how big he's getting. He's a big boy. All right. You get up there. Go ahead. Get up there. I'll give you a treat. Come on. Get up there. I'll give you a treat. Pie. Look. Look. He's very sleepy. Okay. Well, you get to see his butt. Come on. Turn around. Oh, honey. Here. Do you want a treat? Do you want a treat? Come on. Not my fingers. Get the treats. Okay. He has started jumping up on my husband's shoulder and my son's shoulder. Not really mine. He doesn't jump up on mine. I can put him up on mine. And Gilbert drinks water out of the sink downstairs, and he will ask for it. And Pyewacket's been watching him, so now he's started asking for water down there. He watches the other cats and he learns from them. Because he's a smart boy. Wait a minute, let me do this. He's a smart boy. I love my baby boy. Look how big he's got. Remember when he was this tiny little kitten, and when my size of my leg felt like a cheese grater because it was covered in scabs from him climbing? Huh, you did that. He has broken 2 big branches off my Christmas cactus, and it makes me very sad. It makes me very sad, Pie. But that means my daughter's finally getting one of my plants. Okay. You can lay down. All right, you guys. Well, I think I'm going to toddle off here. Back to unboxing videos tomorrow. Be thankful that we got through this day. I mean, I was dreading the 6th. You knew it was like, oh, you know, we were feeling so good. You know, the election and the inauguration and everything. And it's like we still got the 6th to get through, and we knew it was going to be a mess. But I think we're going to see some serious action. I can't wait to jump over to the news and see what's happening. Oh. All right. Just to see DC Mayor, 15 arrests, 8 EMS transports. Only 15? All right. Well, I will be checking in with the news before I go to bed, and probably kind of obsessively tomorrow. But I like my bye-bye voice. Oh my gosh. Sewing all evening. I haven't sewn in a while. Where you go? Oh, there he goes. No. Pie. No. Dude. Leave the plant alone. You butthole. I really do want to get going on the prayer beads kits, but I got to shoot the craft along video, so I am feeling so much better, but what I haven't gotten back is like my momentum for shooting and stuff, so I'm working on that. Yes, may the force be with us all. All right, everybody take care of yourselves, and I will see you on Friday for an unboxing, and thank you for giving me something to do tonight that I feel useful. That really helps. That really, Congress is reconvened. Glory, hallelujah. Bless them, keep them safe. So let's end this with just a blessing to all of those who are genuinely in that Capitol building to serve their constituents. May they be blessed and protected. May those who are there for an ulterior motive and are self-serving be shown for who they are. Yes. May they be shown for who they are, and may they no longer have the job that is, their pretense that they're serving the country. Oh, thank you for kisses. Such a good. Had to give me kisses. Had to give me kisses. I got you. Oh, now he's got to play with my necklace. This is what he does at night. I lay down. He first of all gives me a whole bath, and then he starts chewing on my necklace. I love you. Yes, I do. Here's my pie. Stop. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. All right. Yep, keep the dragon blade out of the sheath. Absolutely. So prayers for Congress, for their safety. Prayers that those who are a danger to the general public be taken out of the general public and face consequences of their actions. And yes, he has a big bowie. He's a big bowie. And I am grateful for all of you. Thank you for your donations. Thank you for your gift decks. Thank you for just showing up and giving me a purpose there. Thank you, dear. Thank you so much. That's hot, honey. You don't want that. That's hot. That's a hot pie.
No, that's hot.
You can't see, but he's like trying to lean over the candle. That's hot. You will burn your little whiskers. All right. We are done. Thank you. Blessed be you guys. Good night, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Um, all right. Yep. See you tomorrow in the comments section. Absolutely. All right. Take care. Till next time, keep the faith, keep the hope. Blessed be everybody.